What's up, champs? Hope you're having a great day. Another day, another video. In this video, before we do anything, I just want to make sure that I keep saying this because I'm pretty new to YouTube. So like, subscribe, comment. Really appreciate it. Apparently, it helps with this thing called the algorithm. So yeah, I would really, truly appreciate if you did like, subscribed, comment. We're going to do a lot more of these videos also. In today's talk, we're going to talk about state control and how you need to be in charge of your own life, and more specifically, not only your own life, but your own emotions. Because if you can control your state, how you are feeling, the emotions that you're feeling won't have a grip in your current state. And as a result of that, other people's bullshit won't affect you anything, if even just the smallest thing, right? So I just get off the phone. So it's about 7 o'clock a.m. here in Cape Verde. I've been on the phone for like an hour with a good friend of mine. A good friend of mine called me in the middle of the morning. I usually wake up around 5:30. Never turn on my phone before like midday. For some strange reason, I did it today. My friend calls me and say like, hey, like, do you got a minute? Like, I really need to talk to somebody. And I say, sure, don't worry about it. Like, what's going on? Then we have this 1 hour conversation, and my friend just had a panic anxiety attack. It was his first, so as a result of that, he's obviously in shock, and that led us down in a rabbit hole talking about like how he's feeling and emotions and why it's important to control your emotions. I'm not saying you should deny your emotion. We're going to go more into that because it's very important that you are, again, in tune with your emotions. But a lot of things that we're feeling is just input that we are getting from external things. So if you're letting external things control you, then, and your mind is playing tricks on you, you will be nothing but a slave to your emotions. That's mental slavery right there. That's what a lot of great thinkers, a lot of great writers, a lot of great musicians are talking about when they say like mental slavery is a real thing. So if you get this wrong, like if you don't get this mind control, it sounds like hippie talk, right? But if you're not able to control your emotions and you are constantly reacting towards your emotions, what's going to end up happening is the following. You'll never be able to accomplish your truest potential, number one. You're constantly controlled by something. Third thing will be that you're constantly feeling that you're not reaching your fullest potential, because there's always that thing that is almost like, it's almost putting a ceiling. It's like putting a cap on your potential. It's like, we won't let you get over here, because once you get over here, your emotion is going to start to freak in. So you meet a lot of people, or I personally meet a lot of people that are just this, right? Just like my friend was in this moment. So you get so affected by your emotions that you know that you're not, if you go push yourself just a little bit outside of your comfort zone, what's going to end up happening is that you spaz out, and you don't dare to go outside of your comfort zone, because that's going to feel uncomfortable, and that uncomfortableness is going to remind you of that feeling. Is this making sense? So one of the things I told my friend when we were talking on the phone was, first thing is like, hey, look, like, just give me everything. Like, just ventilate. What are you feeling? Like, what did you think during this time? How are you feeling right now? Because he called me when he was out walking. And he told me, he's like, bro, like, I'm in bed. Like, I feel so bad. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to, like, I wake up, I feel sick. Like, I'm getting shakes. I'm warm, but I'm freezing at the same time. And I just, and then I started thinking, I'm like, if this is life, if I'm going to live like this for the rest of my life, because this has been going on a couple of weeks, it's like, I'm not sure I can survive this. Like, I don't want to live this life. I'd rather die. So then I get worried, because now I think I have suicidal thoughts, right? So I told him, I'm like, hey, look, like, don't overthink it. It's completely fine feeling what you're feeling. And it's a big gap. It's a huge mountain of, or let's say it the other way, it's a huge pit of darkness that you need to climb down from having, if this is life, if this is all is to life, I'd rather be dead, versus actually having suicidal tendencies. So don't worry about it, right? So first thing you need to do is just to ventilate, like, because then you get, because when you're talking out loud, you can navigate through your thoughts. You can sort out your thoughts, because that's what us humans do, right? Like that's why it feels so good ventilating to friends when you've been carrying this burden. It's like you want to ventilate because you sort out your thoughts, because you have all of these things that is constipating your mind, right? So that's what you need. And if you get this fucked up, then that's exactly what's going to happen. This is just going to simmer inside of you like a volcano, and sooner than later you're going to explode, do something outwards, or you're going to implode, which is exactly what a panic anxiety attack is, right? So after we went that, it's like, okay, but what are we doing? Like, how has your last... Then we started backtracking. Okay, but how long have you been feeling this anxious feeling? It's like, yeah, but about a few weeks now. Okay, cool. What did you do before that? Now I went to school. Okay, cool. So you were in school constantly. It's like, yeah, and as a result of that, I had a really good routine, because that's what school gives you. School gives you a great routine. You go to bed at the same time. You wake up at the same time. You have a purpose. Yeah, and I ate better. Got it? I slept better. Okay? And I wasn't on TikTok and up late at night watching, like, getting these quick dopamine fixes, because I was so focused on school, so I didn't give a fuck about it. Okay, cool. So you have all of these things that you stopped doing, and you've replaced them with very purposeless driven actions, right? Being on TikTok, waking up late, eating bad foods, a lot of things that stop training, a lot of things that is just out of his normal way of being. And then as a result, his body reacted to that. Okay, but where do you go from there? Because what are we doing? First thing, so very simple, because the goal again is to control your state. You want to control your state where you're in. So if you are feeling anxious, what are the steps, right? Like that's what this whole video is about. So first thing you do is to ventilate. Ventilate to people you trust. Ventilate to on a piece of paper. It can even work on just recording your own voice. If you don't get any person around you that you trust, right? If you don't get any person around you that you trust, I really suggest you do get some, work on getting some good quality friends and allies into your life. But if you don't get that right now, you record your voice, you journal, just put it out there so you can create some distance of the things. Then you backtrack. Okay, so this is a symptom. The anxiety or the low state that I'm feeling right now, it's a symptom of something. Okay, but what was the trigger? Okay, but the trigger was this thing. Like in his case, it was like, okay, what's been the trigger? What's been the thing? It's like, it's been a trigger that's been building up over weeks, because he's been living very purposeless, pretty reckless. But he's coming back on track, right? Like that's the good thing about having this thing, because then we can flip it around. Okay, cool. So that happened. Got it. So it's a big trigger that built it up to something. Does it come from trauma? In this case, not necessarily, right? Okay. Then we know that thing. Okay, now we know the reasons. Now we know the symptom, and we have just put all of our thoughts and emotion on paper, or out there, to create some space up here. All right? Now, what do you do during the actual anxiety, right? Because how do you take yourself down? Because when you're in the midst of everything, there's so much happening. And when you're in the midst of everything, there's just like, okay, but how do I calm myself down to get to this state when I can actually like focus my thoughts? Breathing exercises. Breathing exercises. I'm a big proponent of breathing exercises because it forces you to go inside. So you focus on one thing, and it's the one thing that you know you can control. You focus on your breathing. And if it's too much for you to do it alone, you do find a YouTube video. I like the ones that have a really long that have like a shorter inhale and a really long exhale. So maybe a 4-second inhale. Hold. And then an 8-second out exhale. Then again, 4-second in. 8-second out. Those are the type of breathing exercises I like in order to collect myself. It's something called the vagus nerve. And when you take a longer exhale, when you do a longer exhale versus the longer inhale, you calm down the vagus nerve and you just get more zen, so to say. This is super hard to do when you are in a state of panic and everything is just overwhelming. That's why you got to practice it when you're not in a state of panic, right? And so you're practicing it to become better at life, right? It's like meditation. You don't meditate in order to become better at meditation. Like, that's not the point. The point of meditation is to become better at life. That's why we're meditating, right? It's like I'm doing curls at the gym not to get better at doing curls. I do curls because of the effect, the aesthetic effect of it, right? Or like the functional effect of it. That's the point. So with this, you do some preparations. What have we been laying out? We've been laying out the preparation. Learn breathing exercises. You learn how to control your thoughts. And then we learn about what do you do after, or like when you calm down a bit. Breathing exercises is to get your ass down straight away. It's like, you're up here. Okay, let's go down to level. We're on level 10. We want to get down to level 0. Okay, 10 is panic. Perfect. Breathing exercises. Shoof. Now to level 8. Write things out. Talk. Ventilate. Level 7, level 6. Perfect. Now what else do we do? We backtrack. Because when you're at level 5, you can at least see things clearer, right? Like, you can at least see things more clear. You're not exploding at the moment. You're anxious, but you're not exploding at the moment. So where do you go from here? You start to map out your triggers. What was the trigger? Is this something that's been accumulating over time? And then you look at your lifestyle. Nutrition, sleep, and overall activity. Have you been inside a lot? Have you been moving out a lot? What have you been doing? You do all of this, and then you are continuously practicing controlling your thoughts. As soon as you feel a little bit of anxiousness in your body, you go right back to doing those breathing exercises. Because if you can't even take deep, because the good thing with breathing exercises is that you can do it anywhere. And if you can take deep breaths, if you can't even take deep breaths around your friends or around the people around you, you have a way bigger problem. Or let's say it like this. If you are scared or anxious or taking deep breaths around the people that you spend your time with, that's the cause. They are the cause. You have a toxic relationship with your friends. Cut them, change them, improve, talk to them, try to improve it. And if it doesn't work, find something else. But this is essentially how you're controlling your state during a moment of anxiousness or during a panic attack. And then you might think to yourself, right? Because here's the thing, here's this thing on social media right now, especially for us men. It's like, yeah, but what do you want? Like, men don't need empathy. Like, what do you want? Like, empathy? Like, sympathy from me? Fuck yeah. What are you talking about? Of course I want. I'm in a state of panic. The fuck? I'm anxious. Yes, I want sympathy. The fuck? What's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with it. Like, whoa, you want to talk about your emotions? Yes. That's exactly what I want. I exactly want to talk about my emotions because right now I'm overwhelmed with all of the emotions I'm feeling inside. I don't know how to sort them out, and I feel like I'm fucking about to implode. I'm exploding inwards. Yes, that's exactly what I want. I'd like some empathy and some sympathy from people that I trust, that I can talk to. And there's nothing wrong with that, brother. You're watching. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but that's what women are doing. Maybe you should learn from women then. No? Maybe you should stop listening to these angry men and listening to some women instead in that case, because that's obviously what you need in your life. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing weak about it. It doesn't make you less of a man. It's fucking good for you, brother. All right? So, pretty straightforward. I think there's a lot of nuggets in this, so go back. Please, in the comment section, let me know what you think about these videos. They are shorter. I can push them out more faster. Let me know what you think about these types of videos. Comment, and please press that thumb button. We'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you like anything that we're doing over here. Stay sharp.